So I first met a bunch of kids on ketogenic diet way before we started having a research interest in it. And that's because I'm married to a wicked awesome pediatric epileptologist, Elizabeth Teal. And she and her dietitian, Heidi Pfeiffer, would take us to, would take the family on a junket to the annual Halloween party. So they have a Halloween party for kids on ketogenic diet. And the exceptional thing about the Halloween party is they can't have any candy because the kids on the ketogenic diet can't have any sugar. But they had a lot of water and a lot of fun. And I was extremely impressed with how these kids were doing because I knew that so many of them had really severe seizures, really severe epilepsy, and they were incredibly helped by this ketogenic diet therapy. And it wasn't something I was working on at the time. My lab researched completely different things. But for me, it was really intriguing that with all these anticonvulsant drugs that were available, that this diet worked much better for these kids than any of those medications. Because I knew something about how the medications work and I knew nothing about how the diet worked. So for me, that was a really intriguing research problem that, and a puzzle. Why does this do this? You know, how do you start with diet and end up with this kind of seizure protection and sort of what comes in between? So for me, that was, you know, it was an intriguing problem. I would go off and read about it for a week or two pretty much every time I saw this or every time I talked with Elizabeth about how kids were doing on the diet. And after a few years of reading about it, I decided there might be some experiments, some research that we could do in the laboratory that might give some insight into this.